Hi, I want to show you how to make a really elastic cast on, which is suitable for cuffs and other things you need to be really stretchy. And this is a ribbed cuff for, as you can see, a sock. It's a knit 2 purl 2 cuff, and I have used this cast on here, and if you see here, I can stretch it this far. And even when it's fully stretched, it has no stiff ridge here from the top. It looks like this. And when I stretch it out, it stretches as much as the cuff itself. So I will show you how to do it, and hopefully you'll be as satisfied with it as I am. When I knit cuffs like this, I use double pointed needles, but it's the same technique whether you're using that or circular needles or yeah, whatever really. So the technique is really easy. You make a slip knot and you place it on your first needle, and then you make sure this first stitch here is not too tight, because then it will be really difficult to pick it up when you knit it. So I just pinch it with my left hand here, and my working yarn I hold in my right hand between my middle finger and thumb. I use my index finger and I move from down and underneath the yarn and up and twist so that I get a loop around my index finger. Then I take my needle and I place it on top of the yarn. I move down to the tip of my index finger and up through the loop. Then I slip it onto the needle. Again, I do not want this too tight, but I want it close to the first stitch. Again, index finger, moving from underneath and up, twist to make the loop, knitting needle on top of the yarn, moving down to the tip of my index finger, up through the loop, and slip it onto my needle. And I'll just keep going. It's really fast as well as you get used to doing it. And now I have the amount of stitches that I want on my first needle. My next needle I will place underneath, and I'll just hold it like this, and I'll just keep going on my next needle, making sure the next stitch is placed close to the last one, and I keep going. And I repeat this until I have stitches on all 4 needles. Now I have finished casting on all 4 needles and I'm ready to begin knitting. And when I begin to knit the first row with this type of cast on, we come to, let's say, the downside of this technique, and that is because you can move every stitch so that when you knit one, you pull on the other and make it tighter. So the first row is a bit slow and, to be honest, a bit annoying to knit, but after that it will be like normal, and you don't have to worry about the tricky start if you had one anymore. The result will be good. So when I just have to be slow and make sure I get all the yarn when I stick my needle through. And the first stitch I'll move close to the last one here. And now you can see that I have stretched it a bit so I get a gap. That can be closed by making sure when you knit the next stitch not to pull at all, just leave it there close to the other one. Now I have to purl. Same thing here. And now you can see my gap is a lot smaller. So you just have to be a bit slow for the first row, and as long as you get through the first row, then you can just knit along. So, but this, what makes it difficult in the first row is also what makes it so stretchy. So, and it's really a matter of what you are used to as well. And I will just show you as I get to the end here of needle 1 that doesn't necessarily look too good now. And I also here I have a gap between needles 1 and 2, so this will be closed the same way as when I began. I make sure my first stitch goes close to the last one, and then I start to close the gap by making sure not to put too much tension on it. Oh, now that was one too many. I was supposed to knit this one. So, okay, and as you can see, even though it looked a bit uneven here when I had just knitted the first row, you can see it looks a lot better on the sock. So hopefully you will find a use for this stretchy cast on. And if you are curious about the sock pattern, you can just go to österasbrura.com, and if that didn't sound right to you, just follow the link that I will put in the video description. Thank you so much.